Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 486. The title of today's lesson is the difference between pierce and puncture. Yeah, sometimes I'll get students to ask, what is the difference between these two? Okay, if somebody wants a screenshot, do it right now. Let's get right to it. There is some crossover, definitely. There's sometimes where you might be able to use either one or the other. And I'll just give you a lot of hints of where we're more likely to use this one and not that one in certain situations. All right, let's continue. Both words mean to make a hole in or through something. So that could be true for both. Something with a sharp object. Okay. Punctures are usually small holes, and piercings could be big or small. So that's something to note. Punctures usually just small, but piercing could be larger or smaller. All right, let's continue. If you're talking about body piercings, like for earrings, use pierce and not puncture. A puncture would sound weird. Sounds almost too violent too. But of course, we say people have pierced ears, and of course, nowadays it's very common. You could have pierced other parts of your body. You could have a pierced nose ring, pierced nipple, pierced neck, or the pierced tongue. A lot of things. We never say puncture for those. That would sound really strange, puncture. All right, let's continue. Even though this is not a hard and fast rule, it means it's not definite, it's not 100%, there'll be exceptions to it. That's what we mean by that. Pierce is more often done on purpose, and puncture is more often done by accidents. That's something to kind of keep in mind. All right, but again, there could be exceptions to that rule. Thus, with tires or vehicles getting flat from a sharp object, we are more likely to use the word puncture. It's very common that you might say something punctured your tire, put a hole into your tire that way. Rather than pierce, we don't say something usually pierced your tire, we say something punctured your tire. Okay, let's continue. With needles for injections, we are more likely to use the verbs, more likely to use some other verbs actually, like stick, jab, give, like you give somebody a needle or you give somebody an injection, you got jabbed with it, you got stick with it. Because sometimes students might ask, well, which one should I say, puncture or should I say pierce with a needle? And really, to be honest, some of these other verbs might actually be better than either of those two. All right, if you are choosing between pierce and puncture, like for a needle, pierce would be better because puncture sounds too rough. Yeah, usually. Puncture sounds almost like you got stabbed with it. Pierce sounds more careful and delicate. All right, let's continue. All right, so if we are talking about balls, like a basketball or a volleyball or any ball that could have air in it, puncture would be more common. Sounds more like an accident, because you don't really usually want to put holes in your balls. So puncture is more like it rather than say something pierce the ball. Again, not entirely wrong, but puncture would be more common. And usually the holes are small. With wounds, puncture is more common unless it was a piercing done on purpose. Yeah, like if somebody got stabbed or shot, the bullet punctured his lung. The bullet pierced his lung, not as likely. We'd probably say puncture in this sort of sense. Okay, good. And all right, and let's just give you some examples here. Here's the first one. She decided to have her nose pierced. Yeah, so again, with piercings, definitely the word pierce. He ran over a nail and it punctured a hole in his tire. Good. All right, the third one here. The nurse pierced my skin with a needle. Well, if you're going to use that. But again, stick or jab would probably actually be even better. So the nurse stuck, my arm with a needle. Yeah, I guess so. So stick is, again, better. You stuck it. All right, and number 5 here. She dropped that volleyball from a 3rd floor window, and it hit a metal spike, which punctured a hole in it. So something like that. Anyway, that's kind of the idea. All right, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope you got a better feel of when you'd be more likely to use one than the other. Okay, thank you for your time. Bye-bye.